Hello and welcome to this episode of the Be Free podcast, where I have my beautiful friend Fiona from Free Heart Guided Wellness here today, and we are going to chat a variety of different things. Fiona and I met probably, I can't remember how many years ago, but Fiona moved into my local area and she taught yoga, and then we just became friends, and the rest is history. You ended up like we'd only known each other, I think, like what, a month or something, and then I was like, "Help! I need you to help me with the retreat I'm running." And you were like, "Okay."
I know, I love how we were just like, we're basically friends now, so let's just do it.
Yeah, totally, totally. So welcome, welcome, welcome. Do you want to
Thank you.
share who you are?
Yeah, I'm going to share this because we were chatting about this beforehand, and I read that and I was like, I don't know the answer to that. But I think it's just because people don't tend to be like, who are you? So we'll start with the easy stuff. I'm Fiona, and I am a women's mentor and body worker here in Glasgow. And yeah, I'm self-employed. I love working with women. I love working with people and helping people feel the best version of themselves and helping them move well. And that's what I love to do. And I think it's hard to put myself in a box because there's lots of things that I do. So I really struggle with like, what do you do? I'm like, lots of things.
Yeah, totally, absolutely. I almost like hate that question myself. It's like, what do I do? We were discussing that as well. And I was like, oh, what do I do? And I always forget bits. And like, you have been on such a journey, like with studying different things and learning different things since we first met. Like, I'm like, love, love, love all the things that you've done. So tell us a bit, like, how did this journey unfold for you, like with Free Heart Guided Wellness? Because it was Free Heart Yoga.
It was,
And then
yes.
now it's guided wellness because you have done all these incredible things. So, like, how did that journey into yoga and all these things unfold?
So I was a personal trainer for a few years before I started in the corporate world, as I think most people have been. And I started yoga actually as just another form of exercise and another way to move my body. And after a while, I just thought, oh, there's more to this. And I got to a point where maybe 7 years ago, where I was just like, I do not know who I am anymore. Um, just as a person, I really didn't know who I was. So I think that kind of kick-started my journey, if you like, with exploring what I enjoyed again. What did I enjoy? What did I love to do? What did I want to share with the world? Because corporate wasn't it. I
Mhm.
loved my corporate job at times and I loved the team that I worked with, but it wasn't fulfilling, it wasn't satisfying. And
Yeah.
I'd always loved the body and movement. And once I started on that journey, I actually started on meditation, which my best friend would laugh at because she used to do it and I used to be like, I'm not doing that. I can't sit quiet for 10 minutes. And just it really unfolded from there. I started looking at more of the holistic stuff, at the energetic work, how our mind impacts our body, how our body impacts our mind. And like you said, I've gone on so many trainings since we met, and I now combine the physical with the emotional, with the mental, and it's just really evolved because I want to share what I've done. And I've really noticed the difference in my life by combining all these things.
Yeah.
And that's what I want to share with people.
Yeah. I was going to say that to you because, yeah, I love the way that you weave all these elements together. And yeah, like, why do you think it's important that people like weave the physical, mental, like the energy? Like, why do you personally think that that's important?
So I think it comes down to beauty standards and physical standards are basically all you see on the internet, and especially now with social media and the inverted commas perfect body. And I think, yeah, of course, I can teach women, people how to lose centimeters, kilograms, inches. But if you still can't look in the mirror, if you still can't touch your body without feeling disgust or negative thoughts or putting yourself down, then what's the point?
Mhm.
And for me, it's really about how we're so powerful, our mind's so powerful, and it can make us feel really, really good or really, really bad.
Mhm.
And I also don't think we're taught that sometimes feeling bad is okay. So for me, it's really that how do you manage when you're feeling really good? How do you manage when you're feeling not so good? And how do you be okay with jumping between the two? And if you can't do that, it's not going to matter if you've got the body that you want in your dreams if
Yeah.
you can't manage your energy, manage your nervous system, and just really look at yourself in the mirror and think, I'm pretty special.
Yeah. Oh, that's beautiful. And yeah, I think, as you're saying about social media and stuff, I saw a woman on social media the other day who is an influencer who'd had gastric band surgery. And she was just sharing her journey, but she was saying that she, that the mindset part, she now realizes she really needs to do something about because to her, she still sees herself as this like overweight person. Like,
Yeah.
she mentally cannot like although like the weight is dropping off her. And I remember watching a documentary about that as well. Just, the mindset stuff is so powerful. And as you say, I think like when you just work with one area, and that's kind of the guess what I do coaching as well, like you have to think holistically because we're not just one thing. Like even just, that who are you question, right? None of
Yeah.
us are just one thing, right? So we
Hmm.
need this blend to support us in feeling whole and one. And I love what you said there
Yeah.
about being able to look in the mirror and do that. And I know like I've been on a long journey over many decades to get to that point. But I know you help like a lot of women with overwhelm or burnout, and that generally just like not feeling good enough.
Hmm.
And why do you think it is like we're all prone to feeling that way? Like what causes this, do you think?
This is an interesting one. I think about this a lot because I work with my clients to help them feel how the world sees them really. How many times have you spoken to a friend or a loved one and they've said something negative about themselves? And your first instinct is to think, do they really see that? Is that what they really believe? And 9 times out of 10, yeah, they do believe that. And I think a lot of times, again, media, social media, it comes back down to women can have it all. You can have the perfect life, the perfect body, the perfect career. And I think you can have it all, but I don't think you can have it all at the same time because there's only so much energy you have. And if you're looking after a sick child, a sick partner, a sick relative, you then maybe don't have time to get to the gym, to do your meditation, to balance your nervous system. So for me, we put all these unrealistic expectations on what you can achieve in 24 hours. And as women, we don't work on a 24-hour cycle. Men do. That's literally their rhythm. Whereas ours, regardless of whether you're menstruate or not, is between 26 to 32 days, 35 days. And I think that whole hustle culture is so prevalent. It's so, oh, we're so busy, we don't have time, but what did you get done in your lack of time? Or, oh, you only slept for 4 hours last night. Oh my God, that's amazing. And you're still doing X, Y, and Z. But it's not sustainable. And I think that's championed and that is thought of as normal, which is scary. Even as I say that, it scares me. And it's really important to me to help women realize that you don't need to live up to the standards you see. You don't need to live up to what you think you need to do. All you need to do is live a life that's fulfilled and is joyful, and you move from a place where you know yourself and you know what's best for you.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And I think, yeah, just you speaking about that, like the only ha like yeah, having those 24 hours, but a female cycle isn't the same over those 24 hours. I know back in the day, like I used to, because I was very kind of productivity focused and very like structured, scheduled, all of those things. And I'm like, everybody does have the same 24 hours. Like, come on, people, like when I worked in corporate and stuff as well.
Mhm.
Um, and now, like at this stage of life and having experienced like chronic fatigue type stuff and adrenal, it was actually adrenal fatigue that I had. Yeah, I'm just so aware of my energy and looking after myself and
Mhm.
optimize like still optimizing. I still like a bit of, try
Put it
trying
all in.
trying to hack the system a little bit, but just really, really supporting myself. And yeah, like one of the ways I do that is well, obviously through meditation, but then obviously nutrition and things
Mhm.
like that as well, and which I think was for me one of the quickest ways to
Yeah,
see
because it's
results.
massive, isn't it? Like if you're not fueled well, and that's a conversation I have a lot of the time is people aren't eating enough. They're like, I eat so much I'm like, no, you're probably about 300 calories less than you need just to survive the day.
Mhm.
And it's how you balance all the good stuff. And you were telling me about this new drink that you had.
Mhm.
And it's all about that, isn't it? It's your nutrition and looking after yourself and making sure your body gets enough of what it needs.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah. So, yeah, I have been taking Magic Mind. I did a little money saving thing last like the other week and worked out because I've started taking Magic Mind like before Christmas time. I started taking it. I'm now like subscribed to it. It comes to my door, so I have it like
Easy,
my
yeah.
fridge looks super cute. It's got like all these little mini bottles like all lined up. It's like it's so nice. But yeah, it's got everything in it to support me kind of emotionally, like so because of the perimenopause side of things, and you
Mhm.
mentioned nervous system stuff, I was very kind of wired and jittery and anxious, and because it's got like ashwagandha and stuff in it, I think that's really helped with that.
Mhm.
Perimenopause cognition, oh my days, like
Is a thing, is a thing.
yeah, so we've got like there's stuff in there that helps with that. You've got your lion's mane and your cordyceps and all these incredible things. And I think there's so many ways as women we can begin to look at optimizing things. And you mentioned sleep as well. This has really helped my sleep, and they do have a sleep version as well if you're in the States. So I do have a promo code for it, so you can get 45%
I
off
was going
it.
to say, that's huge.
Yeah, I know it's mad, right? So you can get 45% off it if you go for the bundle. And you can just access that by visiting www.magicmind.com/be free and then Jan, all in caps. So that's www.magicmind.com/BEFREE. Jan, in capitals. But I'll pop all the links in the show notes as well in case anybody wants to have a look at that because I think anybody who does struggle with um burnout, and obviously I've done a lot of coaching with people with anxiety and depression as well, thinking about the nutrients, and you mentioned what you're fueling your body with. If you are overwhelmed or burnt out, you're seriously going to be depleted
Mhm.
in these
Yep.
areas. So yeah, I
It's
absolutely.
about just different ways of supporting yourself as well, isn't it? Like what other
Mhm.
ways? Because people tend to think it's just one that like meditation, but meditation's different to everybody, but there's other ways. There's so many ways we can support ourselves. And if we just need to sometimes think outside the box, right?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And then, yeah, speaking about thinking outside the box, so one thing
Which
that
is my
Fiona,
favorite thing to do, as you know.
yeah, yeah, Fiona likes is kind of a very like I would say you're a big advocate of is female pleasure. And just really kind of creating this empowered um feminine energy because I know like you'd kind of been in that corporate, very masculine orientated environment, but like can you maybe explain to listeners like what feminine pleasure could look like, why that's important, and maybe like what can they do?
Yes, my favorite topics. One of them, I have many. But yeah, for me, it's like you said, the feminine energy, I think sometimes gets a bad rep. Like, certainly because I used to work in the very masculine corporate, and it was a very masculine environment I worked in. So I was very in my masculine, like, take no prisoners, just get it done. So if anyone had said to me, be feminine, I would have been like, that's like weak, that's soft, that's just not me, basically. And so it's like night and day compared to where I am now. But there's so many facets of the feminine energy, and that's something that I've really been working with. Like, so you've got the wild feminine. Of course, you do have the soft and like the gentle and the flowing. But the beauty is we can embody all of those different aspects of the feminine energy. So that's what I really want to do is like educate people on how that looks. I've spoken to a lot of women who are like, oh, I don't connect to my feminine energy because it has this like one-dimensional perception. People have this one-dimensional perception of it and what it actually is. So working with the different kinds of feminine energy, I just think is a game changer, and tapping into them at different points in our life and different points in our cycle is incredible. And like that comes back to pleasure. So like the feminine energy having like a one-dimensional perception that people have, you've then got pleasure, which everyone thinks is just intimacy with a partner. and it's just about one thing, right? But the beautiful thing is that women are like the only species that are built, if you like, for pleasure. We have the ability to have pleasure purely for the sake of having pleasure.
Mhm.
Now, immediately when I say that to people, they go, "Oh, what's she about to talk to me about?"
Yeah.
You can see the look of panic on their face is really, I like it, it makes me laugh. But for me, pleasure is about your inner radiance. It's about your inner spark and your inner fire that even though we don't always feel it, it's always there. And pleasure is about how can we feel different sensations in our body? How can we access different sensations through our senses? So it's not all about how we have intimate pleasure. It's about expanding our explanation of that, our understanding of that, and realizing that we can really use it in our life to enhance our experience of everyday life. So, examples, okay. So, if you're eating your dinner, for example, you eat, not you specifically, everyone. We eat, don't we? Because we need fuel or we're hungry. But what if we took the time to feel the different sensations in our mouth? If we took the time to um, find foods that we can pick up and use our hands, we can smell them before we eat them. And it's really about igniting all the different senses and seeing how it feels in our body. And another one is, I know, is a love of yours, but it's scents. So using aromatherapy, using different scents to really see how it feels in our body and access the little bits of pleasure that we can pick up. And how do we become aware of that? And once we become aware of it, we can expand it.
Mhm. Amazing. I love that. And yeah, pleasure was my word for last year.
Was it? I love
And
that. What does it mean for
I
you?
kind of feel like I failed the word a bit now, but it did make me more aware and conscious of. I
Hmm.
think because I'd had two really hard years, like not feeling
Yeah.
well, and then I was like, no, I just want to feel pleasure. Like I just want
Mm.
life to feel. And as you say, like yes, there's that intimacy part, but then also, yeah, like when I write a list of things that bring me pleasure, that is things like baking and yeah, like using essential oils and just yeah, being in nature and as you say, all the sensory aspects of that and
And that's the thing, it can be really tapping into pleasure when you're not feeling the best is one of the most powerful things you can do, but it feels like one of the most far away things that you want to do because when you're not feeling great, putting the effort into feeling that pleasure and that joy just sometimes feels unattainable, right? So I think a little tip that sometimes when you're not feeling great, if you can find a hand cream or a body cream that you love, then put that on. Really take the time to touch your hands, to touch your arms. And again, it doesn't need to be anything intimate. It's literally just you connecting to your body. And I've had a client who didn't put moisturizer on for years. And I remember saying to her, put like, I want you to do this. And she was like, what? I was like, but just try it. And now she does it every day
yeah.
because she enjoys it. And it's the little things that we can do and incorporate into our daily lives that's going to make the difference.
Yeah, I think we've become so disconnected, haven't we, from our bodies that things like
100%.
that just seem I know my my husband loves putting like moisturizer and stuff on, and I remember I used to get really annoyed. I was like, for F's sake, like, how have you got bloody time to be standing there putting bloody body lotion on when you know you've got like three kids and you're trying
And a
to
wife. Hello.
wife, yeah. He's like,
I love this for him though. I love it.
but yeah, but you know, there's lessons to be learned there. Like, why would you not make enough time to like look after your body? Why would you not do that? Why
Hmm.
should that be seen as like
A treat.
yeah, an additional thought out there
Yeah.
treat? Yeah.
Hmm.
So
And
yeah.
it's funny because I have a thing with the word treat because treat sounds like you've got to do something to get it or it shouldn't be an everyday occurrence. And my friend uses it. I'm like, it's not a treat. You're just gifting yourself it.
Yeah. Nice, nice, nice. I love that. So I know that you have this new program coming out,
I do.
which I am very excited to hear about because I've just seen like snippets and it sounds like the perfect weaving of all the things that I love and adore as well. So and I know that obviously it involves the elements. So I'm
It
very
does.
intrigued. So tell everybody what is this and
So it is an 8-week group container, which is called Rooted and Radiant, an elemental journey. Now, I love the elements. I love being outside. And that's one of the things that drew us together, I think. But it's really important to me. It's one of these things about how can I incorporate everything I love and teach women how to support themselves in different ways. So what I'm doing is I'm providing a journey for women who join me, and we're going to be connecting with desires, embracing pleasure. We're going to be reclaiming their power and really using those as a root and a foundation to build the life that they love, to build a life that lights them up, inspires them, and really just makes them feel joy every day, and it makes them feel aligned. And we're going to be using the elements to guide us. So we'll be working with a different element every week. And there's so many different aspects to the elements, as you're aware. And I can't wait to teach people a little bit more about this and how we can think about the elements and incorporate that into how we live our everyday life and in how we live a life that actually makes us want to get out of bed in the morning.
yeah, amazing, amazing. Yeah, I think as I, mentioned disconnection earlier, we feel so disconnected from nature and I think being learning about the elements can be such a powerful and transformative um way of recognizing that like not every moment's the same. You're not the same in every
Hmm.
moment. And we need all these different attributes. Like you mentioned, the different aspects of the feminine as well before. We need the all aspects at different times. And
Yeah.
um, to be able to understand that better, I think would be such a gift for anybody and to work through that. Just yeah.
Yeah. And just to be connected, it's like that connection to nature. So you're never by yourself, are you? Like we're so interwoven, like we're all interwoven with nature and we don't, like you said, we're so disconnected from it. And then really building, I decided to do a group container because the power of women when we come together is just incredible. And I know that for some women, an all women container can actually be quite scary because we've not always had the best relationships with other women or we've been pitted against each other. But women only spaces have been some of the most transformational, powerful, supportive spaces I've ever been in. And I really want to just help other women find that and give them a space where they can be seen and show up just exactly where they are and know that that's okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, amazing. What a beautiful thing to create and yeah, what a incredible why to do
Yeah.
that. And yeah, I agree. I think um it's yeah, finding the right space for you and yeah, being
Mhm.
held with your people and yeah, thank you. I think that sounds so good. So I will pop Fiona's details at the bottom of the podcast in the show notes and on YouTube as well. But yeah, do reach out to her and ask her any more about her program because when does it start again?
The 5th of February, and yes, I love a question, I love a chat, as you know. So
Yeah.
I'm happy to answer any questions if people reach out.
Yeah, amazing. Do reach out to her about those things. So I know obviously like you're a personal trainer, I know you love the gym and all those kind of things, but like so I love to people to just share so they can inspire listeners as well. What do you or what's your current routine for looking after your mental, emotional, spiritual self?
Oh, how long have we got left? It's a long one. For me, it really changes every day. It changes every day depending on where my energy levels are, how I feel, and I think that's something I've gotten really good at is listening to my body. And I'm so lucky now that I've got such a huge toolkit to choose from. Like you said, I love being in the gym, but I'm really aware of my energy levels and tweaking that. So some days I might go throw about some weight, some days I might do some yin yoga, which is basically not moving very much, which is ideal. And I'm really loving journaling just now. And I know you're a massive journaling fan. And I think you've told me before that if you don't know what to write, you just start with, I don't know what to write.
Yeah.
What I found really powerful with my clients just now is writing just to write. I think even when we say just journal anything, people still think they need an outcome. But I've really just been loving writing to write and not have to figure anything out.
Mhm,
and
mhm,
just to kind of clear a space in your mind. So that's been really powerful for me recently. And essential oils, they're really helpful. I think you again you're to blame for my essential oil habit. But they're just so diverse, and I think they're the main ones. Listen to my intuition, which is for me a tool for my well-being, and the journaling and the essential oils have really helped me stay grounded and to move into a place where I can listen to what I need.
mhm. And do you have a particular oil that you're working with just now?
Balance, the
Mhm.
doTERRA oil balance every time. Just as soon as I sit down, it just like can't
Yeah.
even remember. Do you know what
I
that?
use that as like a part of a little protocol that I created. I use that every day.
Yep, so do I. It's
Love it.
beautiful.
Yeah.
I
I was
love
going to ask you what's your favorite oil, but then I hate when people ask. I'm like, what? One?
it.
One?
You want me to choose one?
What are you working with right now? And I think like what you've said, I think is so powerful, and it really gives people permission that your routine can look different
hmm
on different days. You know, I think some people think, well, we have to do, this set thing, and there is benefits to that as well. Like,
Yep.
but tuning into how you feel and what's right for you, and then thinking about your journaling, just like going off on a little tangent.
Love our tangents. Tell me.
Have you thought about or heard of Julia Cameron's The Artist's Way?
The artist way rings a bell, but I couldn't tell you anything else about it.
Yeah, so Julia Cameron created this book years ago called The Artist's Way, and the basis of it is exactly what you said. Just like you write 3 pages every day, right? There's other
I
aspects.
recognise it because I think you've told me that's why I recognise it.
Yeah,
Yes.
there's other aspects to it as well. But as you say, I think it's so fascinating when you just like pour the stuff out of your head that like it
hmm
doesn't even have to make sense. Like, oh, I had a really random dream about a squirrel, and oh, I better go and wake up Lily. Oh, like it doesn't have to be like you're saying like for that outcome as well. Like
Yeah.
it sometimes feel like just emptying all this stuff out of your brain, and then actually sometimes magic appears from this
Yes.
rambling. So she calls it morning pages, and you do it kind of as soon as or as soon as you can to waking up, and
Mm.
you sit until you write those 3 pages, and then there's little other bits. But anyway, I'll drop the link for that book in the show notes for anybody as well.
Please do.
It's a really, I actually found it quite a challenging process, but a really worthwhile process.
Mm. Because
So,
it's just, like you said, it's clearing that space. And sometimes that's all you need. It's
mhm.
just space.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Ah, so speaking about spaciousness, freedom is one of my core values. So,
Yeah,
what makes you feel free? And obviously, your business name is Free Heart Guided Wellness. So,
it is. And that came about because I previously felt like there was no space, there was no place for me to go, and I didn't know where to go. So free heart was really important because I want my heart to be free. So I find that by being in nature, for sure. I think that's sometimes a standard answer when you heal from wellness people, isn't it? I just want to be in nature all day.
not at all.
Um, but also boundaries are really important for me to find freedom because I know that I'm not ever going to be in a place that I don't want to be. So I've always got the freedom to choose if I use my boundaries. And like I am a nightmare for people saying, "Do you want to do this?" And I'm just like, "No." Like
Oh, do you
I
love
don't provide
that?
excuses because I'm just like, I don't want to do it. You asked if I wanted to do it. The answer's no.
Oh
You're
my
laughing
God.
because you can imagine me saying that. That's why you're
Yeah,
laughing.
yeah. And I'm like, I need to channel this inner Fiona because I'm like, yeah, that sounds ace. Yeah, let's do it. I don't know why. I'm just like, woohoo. And then I'm like, oh God, why did I say yes to that? I get
Yeah.
excited.
And that's the thing, isn't it? And that's why I always am like, I'll get back to you and I'll let you know. But yeah, boundaries for me are huge on how you actually create space in your life.
Mhm. Love that. That's actually, I've got that written in my journal for today to set up some business boundaries, some out of office email stuff and all that jazz. So
All the
you've,
fun stuff.
you've got me inspired to do that. And again, I feel like that's something that more women need to hear, that it's okay to actually just be like, yeah, no,
Yeah,
not.
because how many times do women just say yes because it's expected?
Mhm.
And I'm like, nope.
Yeah.
I will teach more women how to say no.
Yes, exactly, exactly. Oh, awesome. Cool. Well, I do yeah, sign me up. Sign me up for this saying no. No, it's definitely something that I have improved on, and I've got a chapter in my book about that as well because 100% as women, I think we're just like yes, yes, yes. And I feel really honored the things that you say yes to me now. I'm like, oh, that's good. She actually really did want to do
See,
that. So
now you know. Now you know.
she wasn't lying just to keep me happy.
No. And this is the thing. I think at least people know that I'm just like, if I've said yes to you, then I want to be there.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
No ambiguity here, Susie, as you know.
Yeah. Love it. Well, speaking about clarity, how can people connect with you? What's the best way for people to find out more? All of those
I'm
fun.
on Instagram, I'm on Facebook, and they're just both Free Heart Guided Wellness. And then the website is freeheartguidedwellness.co.uk.
Perfect.
Super
Super
simple.
simple. Super simple. Amazing. Awesome. So thank you so much for being here. Is there anything else you want to share before we jump off?
No, just I've loved being here. We love a chat anyway, but it's so nice to be able to share this for your listeners, and it's an honor to be here. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And thank you to Magic Mind as well for supporting me with this podcast. And I will pop, as I mentioned, in the show notes the discount code for that. So you can grab that 45% off bundle. Do that ASAP because that discount code is only valid until the end of January. So it's www.magicmind.com/be free and then Jan. Um, if you're listening to this after that date, then get in touch because I have another code, but it's not for quite so much. So make the most of it now. Um, Amazing. So I will look forward to seeing you. Like we obviously don't live in the same city, but you are going to be here.
I
With
am.
some other bits and pieces coming up in the future. So go give Fiona a follow for everything that she has coming up. Reach out to her about that beautiful program. That sounds absolutely amazing and such a beautiful journey to take people on. And I will look forward to catching up with you really soon.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.